another sunrise, here the day comes. To another song for when tears fall down. There's nothing puts a mind at ease unless there's something within. Wonder whether you found peace in the sunrise, here the day comes.
To believe the truth will surface. So many people have prayed for justice. Look at the kindness past, ripping the hell of the facts, giving the guilty a pass. Look at the face of an angel. Look at the people that gather the touch, bringing my city together with love. Through the pain, say your name, sing your song. Gabby's right, you're never gone. People linger secrets in the dark. Standing in the city park, tears are falling over broken hearts. Hope this song will keep a family strong.
Your lives have changed since the day that she went away. I pray your family will find peace in some way. I know it's hard to cope. Hope feels like a broken rope. Through the darkest days, you're not alone. That's why you're hearing Tabby's song. So just
say her name, sing her song. Even when the tears begin to fall, Tabby's with you, never gone. Keep on praying, God won't let who did this off. Justice ain't that far away, but until that day comes, say her name, sing her song. Even when the tears begin to fall, Tabby's with you, never gone. Keep on praying, God won't let who did this off. Justice ain't that far away, but until that day comes.
how do we continue living without those we love? When the times of need, sometimes we just need a hug. Wished I had the words to say to make you feel more happy. Cause now that your world is different, there'll be no one like Tabby. That's how we feel.
Now everybody's singing Tabby's song. Light your candle, see your smile. You were not alone, you were not alone. Know your heart is aching and that time don't really heal. But your faith in God has kept you safe and always will. Something about this empty bar just don't feel the same. When it's pouring, you might see an angel when it rains. Something about this empty bar just don't feel the same. When it's pouring, you might see an angel when it rains.
With you, how we miss you. It's so much harder these days than it was with you. Blow you a kiss too. Say see you later, never goodbye. Cause when the tears start flowing, Tabby's by your side.
Say her name, sing her song. Even when the tears begin to fall, Tabby's with you, never gone. Keep on praying, God won't let who did this off. Justice ain't that far away, but until the day comes, say her name, sing her song. Even when the tears begin to fall, Tabby's with you, never gone. Keep on praying, God won't let who did this off. Justice ain't that far away, but until that day comes, just sing her song. Just sing her song. Just sing her song. Even when the tears start falling, just sing her song. Even when the tears start falling, even when the tears start falling, just sing her. Say her name, sing her song. Even when the tears begin to fall, Tabby's with you, never gone. Keep on praying, God won't let who did this off. Justice ain't that far away, but until the day comes, say her name, sing her song. Even when the tears begin to fall, Tabby's with you, never gone. Keep on praying, God won't let who did this off. Justice ain't that far away, but until that day comes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to True Crime with Marv. I hope you're having a good Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right? Good God, I'm losing track of days. Yes, it's Wednesday. Beautiful tribute that we have for Tabby. Every time I see it, I see something new, and Indie Archive is so talented at his videos. Just going to keep saying that. And yes, the song is beautiful. Hey, Kelt, how are you doing? So we have Jinx in the house. Love Tina's back. Frosty, absolutely. I want to have you on here, Jinx on here, Bossy, Indy, all of them. Do talk about the case, and I would love thoughts on your fresh perspective eyes. So, hey Gloria, how you doing? And Andrea's here, yup. Did I miss any? Oh, and Jean is here. Welcome, Jean. I know we've got others watching that don't chat. That's fine. Hit the thumbs up. Share the stream. It's important that we get this information out. It is getting better. It is. He says your throat's sounding better. It is. Slowly but surely. I still have coughing fits though. Whatever this is, it's crazy. So this is tonight's agenda. We have actually, let's see, 12 pages of the deposition to finish. I believe there's 56 pages because we're going to backtrack. We found his second statement. It's so important to hear that one because there's a lot of conflicting information. So we're going to do the second statement, and at the end, we will give his polygraph results. So I'm going to bring Andrea on. Hello,
Hey.
my dear.
Hey.
My partner in crime.
I had to take a brief phone call from my son.
That's all right.
Oh, Lord, it was funny, though.
I can imagine.
Well, you know.
Did you tell him, hey, son, I
Sam,
have to do a podcast?
He said, I had my phone on mute. He said, your son's calling you. And I looked, I had 2 missed calls. So I called, I said, I'm getting ready to go live in 3 minutes. What do you want? So he called me. He's like, Sam ate an omelet this morning, and 3 bites into it, she had to run to the bathroom. Is that normal?
Yes. So,
I said, welcome to her.
Yep, Andrea's going to be grandma.
I said, welcome to her first fooded version.
Yes. Poor Sam. But Bryce, it's all normal, I promise.
Right.
But he doesn't know, so he's got to call mom.
Yeah.
Yep. Just checking in, mom, make sure this is normal.
I just started laughing.
Yeah. Okay, one quick funny story for me. My son is a ladies' man. He always has been. He hangs out with girls. He can't stand I can't say he can't stand the boys. He just doesn't hang out with the boys because they're too rowdy and rough. And he's not that way. He's a very gentle kid. So everywhere we go, we hear Marky, his name, right? Andrew goes to Arby's tonight, and this cute little blonde girl is taking his order, and he pulls up, and she's like, "Oh, I rang your order in wrong. I'm fixing it." She leaves the window and comes back. She goes, "I have a weird question for you. Do you have a son?"
Oh, wow.
Andrew says, "Yes." "Is his name Mark?" "Yes." And he's like, "I can't get away from it even when the kid's not with me." Funny.
That's Mark for you.
Yep. That's my kid.
He's the funny.
So, we are not going to do a 2.5 hour live tonight. My eyes were going buggy for hours afterwards.
Like both of ours were.
It was crazy. But we're going to get through this. We are starting with the redirect examination. Questions by Mr. Roberts. Like I said, there's only 12 pages left. We're getting there. So
And they're
take
short
your
pages.
notes. Yep, take your notes. Ask any questions in the chat. We'll come back and answer them. Or any observations or comments, please put them in the chat. We appreciate that. All right. You're
I'm
up.
ready when you are. Okay. All right. Questions by Mr. Roberts. What other items, when you went out to the garage, were missing other than this bag you put the 3 items in?
I wasn't looking for nothing else, so I don't know.
So you can't tell me today that anything was taken out of there other than that bag that you put the 3 items in?
I don't know what was thrown away. I don't know. I didn't go looking through the whole shed for anything else.
Mr. Rich, I'm going to object to the reference. Not because Pat's trying to confuse, but just the reference to the bag. I think I did the same thing. It wasn't a bag, it was a tote, correct?
No, it was. Yes.
The tote, other than the tote.
I didn't look.
Did you notice anything else missing?
I didn't look for anything else.
You can't tell me today that anything else was thrown away other than the tote.
The only thing over there is my go-kart and starter.
Pardon me?
The only thing over there is my go-kart and starter. I don't remember what else was over there prior to coming to jail. I remember that tote was over there.
Kyle, I want you to take a look at that picture. Does that picture show the spot where the shooting took place?
I don't think so. I think it was...
There's the bridge.
Yes, I know.
You said it's on this side.
I think it was over a little bit farther to the right.
It's not depicted in the picture?
Right.
That was a little different angle than what you had identified in this picture. Mr. Alden, for the record, can we identify that? Mr. Roberts, that is P1010013 JPEG.
Okay.
Okay, it's a little different angle, okay? Mr. Rich, what was that, Pat? Mr. Roberts, P1010013 JPEG. Mr. Rich, thank you. That, Mr. Alden, different angle than which other? Mr. Roberts. Then the exhibit B, Mr. Alden. Okay. Mr. Roberts. So you think it was further towards 19?
I'm pretty sure. I think so.
This would be from the roadway down here looking towards 19.
Okay.
Can you tell me in there, and that is exhibit C, where the shooting took place?
I want to point right there, but I don't want to. I'm not 100% sure. I can't be 100% accurate right now from sitting right here and looking at a picture.
Let me put it this way. If we got and we're in agreement to take you out to the park, could you go stand at the spot where you say it occurred?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts. Okay, that's all. Redirect examination by Mr. Alden. Kyle, when you went through the park with the police,
Yes.
was that before or after you took your polygraph examination?
That was prior.
And the second statement that you gave the police, was that before or after you took the polygraph examination?
That was prior. That was the same day we went through the park.
You gave your first statement to the police where you said that the gun was not yours.
Right?
Right? Then you gave another statement to the police where you said the gun was yours, right?
I said it was my mom's. Yes.
Okay, hang on a minute. I just lost my place. Yeah. Had you taken a polygraph examination between those two statements?
No.
So the polygraph examination you took was after you had given your second statement. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and the examiner felt that you still were not telling the truth. Is that right?
That's what they say, yes.
Even though you corrected whose gun it was and Yates's participation, is that right?
Yeah.
And you've indicated that obviously what you said in the first statement, all of it was not true, that there was some things that you left out, right?
Right.
Is there anything that you told the police when you went to the park that was depicted or that you should have been caught by the video that was not true?
I don't believe so. I don't remember.
Okay.
I never saw even a typed out statement of what I said in the park.
Okay, well, forget the typed out statement.
So I don't remember.
You remember being at the park?
Yes, I remember being at the park.
Do you have any conscious recollection right now of giving the police some bad information when you went to the park?
I don't think so.
As to where different things took place?
I don't believe so. No.
All right. Now, when you and Liz went into the park, you indicated that she was wearing jeans and a white t-shirt. Is that right?
Yes.
Tell me how her hair was.
I think it was pulled back. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe so. It was pulled back.
And was she wearing a hat or not wearing a hat?
No.
She was not wearing a hat.
No, I was wearing a hat.
Okay.
I always wear a hat.
When you went out to check out this tote is in the shed, you went out there with the police, right? Did you answer? I can't hear you.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, and did you go to the shed or not?
Yes, I did.
So you personally walked into the shed with the detectives, right?
Correct.
And they wanted you to show them where this tote was.
Right.
Did you talk to, now the only people that lived out there was you and Amanda, right?
Right.
Did you talk to Amanda to see if she had moved anything, or did the police talk to Amanda to see if she had moved anything?
I asked her and she said no.
So when you got arrested on March 21st, you lived out there. You parked your bike out there. You were in that shed constantly, right?
Yes. No.
Not true?
Not through the winter.
Okay, well,
My bike was parked out there and I never rode it in the winter.
so nobody went out there in the wintertime then. Is that what you're saying?
I might have went out there and one of the employees might have went out there to get cups or something for the restaurant, but
What was kept out there?
cups and styrofoam stuff for the restaurant and like extra light bulbs.
Okay, was all that stuff in there when you guys went out there with the detectives?
I believe so. I don't remember looking over there, but I believe it was, yes.
So it was the shed still full of stuff when you went out there?
Not completely, no.
Well, in response to Mr. Roberts' questions, you're saying you don't remember what items.
There wasn't a freezer out there. One of the freezers were missing. She had some backup freezers out there,
Okay.
and that might have been thrown away.
Was your mom there when the police were doing the search?
Yes.
And so did they ask her what items she threw away when she cleaned up?
I don't know. I don't know what they asked her. They talked to her separate from me.
All right. Were any notes taken by the detectives?
Pictures.
Just photographs of the shed?
Yes. I don't know if they were of the shed. I remember taking pictures of my shoes that I got for them that I wore that day.
And where'd you find those?
In the house, because my mom, or I thought my mom, might have moved that tote made over there.
What did you do with the wet jeans?
Wet jeans? They were in that Tuppermade too.
You put them in there too?
Yes.
And you left the wallet in the purse, Tabby's purse.
Yes.
Did you ever ride around with Liz Balser and go through the trailer park that she and Drew Bush lived in her car?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Not that I remember, no.
Now let's get down to the nitty gritty here. Specifics again.
Okay.
Do you honestly state that now on the record that you don't remember whether you were ever with her in her car riding through the trailer park?
Riding through the trailer park? I don't remember being with her, no.
Are you saying that you could not possibly have been with her? You don't think you would have been with her?
I said I don't remember.
So you could possibly have been with her?
Yes.
So now you're saying that you were with her on occasions by herself?
I don't remember being, no. But I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no. I said I don't remember. How hard is that to understand?
I guess it's easy to say. I'm just wondering if you're saying the same thing today as you did on the 28th.
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Alden. All right, I have no further questions. Mr. Rich, I think we're done. I think we're all done. And further, the deponent Seth not. That's the end of that one.
All right. Frosty, sounds good. I will get together with you. Love Tina says, if all he knew in the shed was his go-kart or bike, why is he now interested in this tote? He's interested in this tote because on the night that Tabitha was murdered, he said that he put her clothes and her purse along with his jeans in this tote that was in the shed instead of burning them in the fireplace. See, he already been to the park on the first plea bargain that Gary Stout did, and he can't remember the spot of the alleged shooting. Yeah.
Right.
Love Tina says, you don't forget something like that. Exactly. Hard to remember the lie he told. Possibly. Gary Stout threw out the plea because of him not having the same story in statements and depositions. He also said he was full of you know what. Yep. Oh, yeah. I get it. All righty. So now remember that what we just read is his official deposition.
Right.
Now we're going to backtrack because we read his first statement and then we went to this deposition. Well, in the meantime, we found the second statement. So we are going back to the second statement.
In this one, it's only Tony Frawley, Kyle Neff, and Stephanie Duran.
Right. Because we want you to hear how detailed he could be in some statements, and then during the deposition, he's like, I don't know, I don't remember. So it's important that we backtrack and get this to you guys. So that is what we're going to do. This is 52 pages, but it's just 52 pages. Straight.
And it goes really quick. Why am I hearing an echo?
I don't know. I'm not hearing it.
Okay, cool.
So I'm just going to share my screen here real quick.
Okay.
So this is a normal statement, 52 pages, unlike the other crazy one we had. So All right. Are you ready for, now this is a tape statement of Kyle Neff. So you're going to play the parts of the detectives and I'm going to continue with Kyle Neff, right?
Right.
Okay.
And then I'll read the Stephanie Duran ones too, because there's not very many.
Okay.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
Okay. This is a videotape and audio tape statement of Kyle Neff. This is reference case 16F13945. Today's date is August the 27th, 2003. The time is approximately 4:02 p.m. The statement is being taken and recorded at the Tipton Police Department. Present in the room is Kyle Neff, his attorney Stephanie Duran, Detective Mike Tarr, and myself, Detective Tony Frawley. Kyle, before we get started, I'm going to advise you of your Miranda rights, just like we did before. Okay? It will up to you whether you it will be up to you whether you sign the waiver of rights. Last time Stephanie signed those. What's important to me is that you acknowledge those rights and that you understand those rights.
Okay.
Before we ask any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions and have him with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you before questioning if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you will still have a right to stop answering at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to a lawyer. I read the statement of rights and understand what my rights are. I am willing to make a statement and answer questions. I do not want a lawyer at this time. I understand and know what I am doing. No promises or threats have been made to me. No pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me. You understand those?
Yes.
Okay. Stephanie Duran, look what I would like to do. Let me witness that you read those to him. Okay. Stephanie Duran. Then I would just like to interject for the record and the tape statement that we are operating under an immunity agreement. Tony Frawley. Okay. Stephanie Duran, which has been signed by myself and Jay Rich and filed with the court. And in light of that immunity agreement, the immunity agreement is what controls, and that this cannot be used against him. Kyle, that he has been given derivative and used immunity. Inaudible, already signed it. Stephanie Duran, no. Tony Frawley, Kyle, we talked approximately 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
In this very same room, myself, Detective Stout, yourself, and Stephanie, and you told us some things then. We took you out today, videotaped you in the park.
Yes.
Here's your opportunity now to come clean up some things for us and tell us the absolute truth. We questioned you out there today. We had some concerns about your story last time.
Yes.
We have concerns today about that story.
Yes.
And we believe that you're here today to tell us the complete truth. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
When we want to do what we want to do is go from the start, just like we did last time. Okay? In particular, our interest in the gun. Okay?
Okay.
And we expressed those concerns to you today. Okay. And once again, we'll let you start just like the last time from the start of how this got that this was a planned thing or whatever the case may be. Today's your opportunity to tell it. You got to give it to us today. Understand that?
Yes, I do.
You may not get a third chance.
Okay.
And I can't control that, okay?
Okay.
So today in front of Stephanie, you had your opportunity to talk with her. Is that correct?
Yes.
At length?
Yes.
And you're willing to sit down today and give us an honest and forthright statement?
Yes.
Take us through that day.
Okay.
Okay.
From where?
From the start. Let me ask you this first. Was this a pre-planned murder?
No, not to my knowledge. No.
How did it come about then?
How did it come about? When I saw Liz that day,
What time did you first see Liz that day?
around 8:30.
That night?
Yes.
Let's go back before that.
Okay.
In the first statement, you stated that you first saw Tabitha that day around 5:30.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Is that still your story today?
Yes, it is.
And where did you first see her?
Her house.
Who was present in her house?
Drake and her.
And what was the conversation?
We just bullshitted. Nothing. It wasn't a real conversation per se.
You had told her, or in the first statement, you had said to us that she had made the statement to you she was looking for Liz Balser.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, it is.
You also said to us that you told her the story about Amanda's grandmother being in the hospital.
Yes.
Okay,
She asked me where Amanda was.
and was there ever any talk of Tabitha going to the hospital that night?
No.
So her leaving the Drake at her mother-in-law's, did she do that, or do you know?
From what I heard, yes.
And so the story that she left him there under the pretense that she was going to the hospital is not correct.
Correct.
As far as you know.
Right.
And as far as you know, what was the real reason for leaving Drake with her?
To go out and party.
You call Kyle or Adam Johnson?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
What was the purpose of that?
To get some Coke.
Did you get that Coke?
Yes, I did.
What time did you leave the apartment of Tabitha Raines?
About 6.
And that was after making contact with Adam Johnson?
Yes.
And what was that arrangement with Adam Johnson?
To meet him out at the multicolored building.
What multicolored building?
On 19. I can't remember the name of the building. They sell shoes.
Bargain Bob's.
Yeah.
In Atlanta?
Yeah.
Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
What time?
Around 6:15.
And when you left Tabitha Raines's, what was her plans? Do you know?
Not to my knowledge, no.
And Drake was still with her when you left?
Yes.
So you meet Adam Johnson. About what time did you actually meet him?
I'm saying about 6:15. I don't know the exact time.
That you actually had first visual contact with Adam Johnson?
Yeah, probably.
And did you buy cocaine?
Yes.
How much?
About a half a gram.
For how much?
$50.
What did you do with the cocaine?
I used it.
All yourself?
Yes.
Where at?
On my motorcycle.
Sitting in the parking lot, or what did you do?
In the country.
And did some point in time you return to Tipton?
Yes.
About what time?
About 7:30.
Okay.
7:45, somewhere around there.
What did you do when you got back in town?
I went to cruise the strip and I saw Liz.
And what time was that?
About 8:15.
Where did you first see her at?
8:30. I saw her at Jefferson and Maine.
What was your conversation with her?
I had her pull. I didn't talk to her right there.
Okay.
I had her pull into the one-way street.
Court Street?
Utility Road.
Okay.
And we talked about me being able to get Tabby, and she
What do you mean being able to get Tabby?
was asking me if I might be able to find Tabby and get her to the park.
And what was the reason for that?
Because Liz was going to beat her up.
For what reason?
Cocaine being stolen from her.
Did you ever tell Liz at that time that Tabitha had made mention
Yes, I did.
of partying with her?
Yes, I did.
And what was her response?
She said she would look forward to it too.
And that was to kick her ass because
Yeah.
of the cocaine, right?
Yes.
And so were those plans made for you to get Tabitha?
To tell her yes. To meet us.
Meet you where?
In the park.
At what time?
Around 10.
So you left Balser at Court Street.
Yes.
What did you do then?
Inaudible. I went looking for Tabby. I drove by her house. Lights were off, so I didn't stop. And then I ended up seeing her up here around VP.
And what time was that?
About 9, I'd say.
Was she out front or in the business?
She was out front.
She by herself?
Yes.
Just standing or sitting or what?
Walking.
Okay.
On the sidewalk.
Did you approach her?
Yes.
And what was your conversation with her?
I told her to meet us in the park around 10.
Who's us?
Me and Liz.
Okay.
Inaudible. Go park.
Did she ask you for a ride or anything?
Yes, she did.
Did you give her a ride?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
Because I had to go meet up with Liz.
So you left Tabitha in front of Village Pantry.
Yes.
Where did you go?
I went to look for Liz.
You was riding through town?
Yeah.
Still on your bike?
Yes.
Did you find her?
Yes.
Where at?
Over on Madison Street at the stoplight.
And about what time?
About 9:15, 9:30.
Have a conversation with her?
9, maybe, somewhere around there.
Did you have a conversation with her?
Yes.
What was that conversation?
I told her I was going to be able to get Tabby. She just give this look on her, and she said it would be good to have a gun to scare her with.
Okay.
And I just stupidly said, I can get one for you.
Did you get a gun?
Yes, I did.
Where was that gun gotten at?
My mom's house.
What was your mom living at that time? I think it's supposed to be where. Where was your mom living at that time?
On Condy Street.
That's the house she just recently sold?
Yes.
Did your mom know that you got that gun?
No, she didn't.
Where is that gun today?
At her house.
In Cicero?
Yes.
So you go get the gun.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Is that correct? And what did you do with it then?
I put on pants and met Liz at the high school.
So you leave from Madison and Main Street.
Uh-huh. Yes.
You drive to your house.
Uh-huh. Yes.
On your bike or to your mom's house.
Yes.
Get the gun. Was your mom at home?
No.
Where did she keep it in there at?
In her room.
Okay.
In the closet.
Did you load it there or did you load?
It was already loaded.
With how many rounds?
5.
What kind of gun is that?
38.
What's the make?
I don't know.
Do you know? Describe the gun.
It's chrome and short barrel, wood handle.
What color is the handle?
Wood.
What color?
Brown.
You get the gun and you go meet Liz. Where at?
At the school.
And where did you park your bike there somewhere?
Yes.
Where at?
Where I showed you. I was along the tennis court.
So that part of the story is true.
Yes.
To the east side of the tennis courts?
Yes.
You get in her car?
Yes.
What did you guys do?
We rolled up a joint and then we gone over to the park.
Who had the marijuana?
Liz did.
She provided it. You rolled it?
Yes.
Did you smoke it there?
No, I let inaudible.
So you traveled to the park. Who was driving?
Liz.
In what car?
Her big car, a red car,
What color?
a rusty color.
Older model?
Yes.
You travel into the park. Is that correct?
Yes.
Where do you park?
We park over by inaudible.
Where you took us to earlier today?
Yes.
Did you know at that point Jonathan Yates was going to be there?
Yes. When we got out of the car, yes.
Prior to that, did you know Jonathan Yates was going to be there?
No, I didn't.
So you guys get out of the car
Yes.
and you walk to the creek bank?
Yes.
And what do you do there?
We light up the joint.
Then you walked to where?
To a bridge.
Which footbridge?
The wooden footbridge.
At what point in time in there did you know that Yates was going to be there?
I knew when we got out of the car.
When you got out of the car, did you see anybody in the park?
I saw Tabby
Where was she?
in the pavilion.
And we asked you this question earlier. You say you could tell that was her in the pavilion?
Yes.
You honestly could tell it was her, or you just knew she was going to be there?
I just knew she was going to be there.
So you really couldn't tell that was her?
I had a good idea it was her.
But you also, once again, knew she was going to be there?
Right.
So did you see anybody else in there besides her?
Not at that time, no.
And where was she standing?
She was standing on that one corner, southeast corner, I guess, what you would say, or south corner.
So did you and Elizabeth take a walk?
Yes.
Where did you walk to?
Over to the footbridge.
Anyone there when you get there?
John.
Was he waiting for you there?
Yes.
Or how did that come about?
He was waiting for us there.
Just standing outside on the bank, or what?
Sitting on the little ledge outside the bank.
You talking about the ledge under the bridge?
Yes.
Did he come up on his own, or what?
We seen him and she said, "Hey, John."
So he comes up?
Yeah.
What's your guys' conversation?
We talked about we're going to get her over here and scare her and try to get her to give up the coke, and
Okay.
I don't remember the whole conversation. It's been almost a year.
So all three of you walked to where?
We walked around the road.
Where's the gun at this time?
Liz has it.
When did you give it to her?
When did I give it to her? At the park. The parking lot.
Of the high school?
Yes.
Where did she put it when you give it to her?
She put it on her lap.
On her lap?
Yes.
But when you got out of the car at the park, where was it?
She put it in her pants.
So you guys now decide you are going to get her over to where you're at.
Yes.
And so you guys walk towards where?
Towards the pavilion.
Do you cross the road?
I don't remember. We were around the road.
Somebody obviously gets Tabitha's attention. Who was that?
It's Liz.
Does Tabitha walk towards your direction?
Yes.
Is she by herself?
No.
Who's with her?
Drew.
How do you know it was Drew?
I guessed it was Drew.
How are you guessing it?
I didn't know who he was
Okay.
at the time.
Your statement before was you didn't know the guy.
I didn't.
And when we told you before that he says he sold you pills and he knew you were, and you said that was possible?
It's possible, yeah.
So when what you're saying now is you weren't sure who he was.
Right.
Had you ever seen him before?
No, not to my knowledge.
Not to your knowledge. Okay. So waited on them to come to the road, or what did you do?
We waited for them to get close, and then we start walking back.
And where did you walk to?
We walked over by the creek where I showed you guys.
Beside the big tree?
Yeah.
What takes place there?
Liz starts cussing at her and hits her.
Let me ask you this question. Once you realize they're coming towards your direction and you guys start walking back, is there any conversation?
There might have been. I don't remember what was. I know there's probably conversation.
Well, there about had to be, didn't there?
But I don't remember what was said.
So you're all back over, all five of you now are standing over by the tree where you took us before.
Yes.
And you guys are standing kind of in the locations that you described to us earlier today.
Yes.
And I believe you described that Tabitha was facing what direction?
She was facing east.
And where was Liz at?
Facing west.
Standing in front of her?
Yes.
Approximately how far from her?
2-3 feet.
Where was the gun at this time?
In Liz's pants.
And you and Yates were doing what?
Standing beside her.
Was he between you?
Yes.
What happens?
What happens? Liz starts beating her up.
And is she hitting her with what?
Well, I saw her fist. I didn't see her do it.
Where did she hit her at?
In the face.
Did she
Inaudible.
say anything to her at this time?
She asked where the coke was when she pulled the gun out.
When she asked where the coke was, what does Tabitha Raines say?
I don't know what you're talking about.
But does she ask her that prior to ever hitting her or after she hit her?
I don't remember her saying it prior.
So at some point in time, she says it.
Yes.
How many times did she strike her?
I can't.
More than once?
Yes, more than once.
Okay.
Enough to put her down.
And when you say put her down, on her knees?
Yeah.
Once she goes to her knees, what does Balser do then?
Pulls the gun out.
And what does she do when she pulls the gun out?
She asked where the coke was, and
When she pulled the gun out, did she point it at her?
yes.
And what part of her body was she pointing it at?
Her head.
Right at her head?
Yes.
How far was the gun from her head?
Probably 2 feet, I would say.
You had told us earlier that Drew Bush attempted to something.
Yes,
And what did he attempt to do?
Okay, time out. Hang on 1 second. Stop me yelling at me and get out. Okay, had to let the cat out.
As I say, Chloe's expressing her need to get out.
Okay.
I said, and what did he attempt to do?
Attempted to stop it. He attempted to stop it
By how?
by going towards Liz.
Going towards Liz or going towards Tabitha?
Going towards the situation.
Okay.
I'll say I don't know which one he was going towards.
Okay.
I'm guessing Liz.
Was he able to do that?
No, me and John intervened.
What did you do?
We grabbed a hold of him to stop him.
So you grabbed what part of his body?
His arms.
Did he resist you in any way?
No,
Why not? He's a pretty big guy.
I don't know.
You made in your statement earlier that
Inaudible.
he appeared to be intoxicated.
Yes.
What makes you say that?
The way he talked and slurred his speech and that saying still, all that.
So you grab a hold of him and stop him from moving forward.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And Liz has struck Tabitha and she's on her knees.
Yes.
She's pointing the gun at her head.
Hang on, I lost my spot.
Almost toward the bottom.
Okay. And then when he starts coming forward, she points the gun at him and tells him to stay out of it.
Did she point the gun at his head or what part of his body?
I think his mid-range.
His upper torso?
Yeah.
What happens next?
He stopped, and then she turns towards him, inaudible, or
Turns towards
her, I mean.
Who's her?
Tabby.
She pulled the trigger?
Yes.
How many times?
2, maybe 3.
Where did she strike her?
Where she,
With the gun. Where did the shot hit?
I know it hit her in the head.
Did you see that shot?
Not at that time, no. I was looking at her.
Once that happened, what took place then?
What took place then? Drew took off running, and Liz went after him.
Let's stop right there. You said 2 or 3 shots.
Yes.
How close were those shots together?
Pretty close.
There wasn't a hesitation between shots?
Not really.
Did you see her fire any of those shots? Actually fire any shots?
I didn't actually see her pull the trigger.
Why not?
I had my head turned at the time.
Why was your head turned?
I was looking towards Drew.
For what purpose?
Because he tried going forward a little to pull him back.
So 2 or 3 shots are fired.
Yes.
Obviously, after the first shot, did you turn around or did you look?
Yeah, I was.
What did you see?
I seen Tabby laying on her back.
Okay.
And Liz standing over her.
So when she stands over, has she already fired all the shots that were fired?
Yes.
Was she saying anything?
Not. She might have been, but I really wasn't listening to anybody right then. I was more stunned.
What was Yates doing?
He was standing on the other side of the group, inaudible.
Okay.
I don't know if he said anything or not.
You made the statement a while ago that Drew Bush took off running.
Uh-huh, yes.
Did he run right away, or was there some time lapse from the time that she was shot before he ran?
I think he ran pretty shortly afterwards.
And?
Right? There might have been maybe 10, 30 seconds.
Did he say anything? Did he make any statements?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Where did he run to?
He ran across the bridge.
And the location you showed us is going to be southeast of that footbridge?
Correct.
So what you're telling me is he ran to the wooden footbridge.
Yes.
And which direction did he run once he got to that bridge?
He ran north.
And did you see him exit the park?
Yes.
What street did he exit on, and which way did he go?
South Street is up in that, or West Street,
Yeah,
or
that's the intersection of South and West.
he went up West Street.
What did Balser do?
She went chasing after him.
Did she ever cross the bridge?
She got about halfway across it
Why did she stop?
because we told her to.
Did she make any statements to you prior to
Yeah, she
running?
she told me to, both me and John, to come on help me catch him.
Did you do that?
No,
Did you make any statements to her?
we told her not to worry about him. I don't remember the exact words. Inaudible.
Did she return to where you guys were at?
Yes.
What was the conversation?
Me and John were pretty pissed off that she actually did it, and she asked us to help her carry the body.
Where was the gun?
Where was the gun? In her pants.
And you made that statement in your first statement to us. You said it was there. You didn't know where it was or where it ended up the first time. Do you recall that?
Yeah.
You said you had no knowledge where the gun was. You told us today in the park that you did see the gun in her waistband.
Yes.
So it's your statement now that right after the shooting and when she returned from the footbridge,
Inaudible.
that the gun was in her waistband.
Yes.
And was her shirt inside her pants or outside?
Her shirt was outside the pants, but inside the gun.
And did you guys attempt to carry the body or help her carry the body?
At first, we didn't want to, and then she pretty much made us carry.
How did she make you?
She pulled the gun out and asked us if we wanted to be in the same place as her.
Did she ever threaten you with the weapon or just pull it out and make that statement?
She just pulled it out and made the statement.
Did she ever point it at you?
She pointed it towards us, yes.
You stated earlier in your first statement that she threatened you with the gun, and you knew she still had rounds in there because you could see the rounds in the gun.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay.
I knew there.
Now you changed your story at the park and said, well, maybe I didn't see the rounds in the gun when I asked you. Show me how she pointed the gun at you.
She pointed it that way to us.
Right. Okay. And then we pretty well shot a hole in that story that you could not have seen that cylinder.
Inaudible.
Correct?
Correct.
Now we know why how many rounds are in the gun, and you know that. And why is that?
And why is that?
Yeah.
Because I knew. I got her the gun.
You provided the gun and you knew that it had 5 rounds in it?
Yes.
She has the gun in her waistband and you guys are going to help her carry the body.
Yes.
What part of the body did you grab?
Her right leg.
Which is what you told us before?
Yes. And John grabbed her left leg.
And what does she grab?
The upper body.
And you start walking which direction?
West.
Which is along the creek bank.
Yes.
Eventually you end up behind the ball diamond?
Yes.
The same path that you took us today.
Yes.
And you said that you put the body down twice?
Yes.
Between the time you picked it up and the time you put it behind the ball diamond, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Twice. Both times you guys lit cigarettes?
Yes.
And you basically...
Well, one time we lit cigarettes. I don't remember lighting one the second time.
Did you ever see anybody in the park? Any vehicles ever go through the park?
I never saw any.
And I believe you told us from the time it took you from the time of the shooting and you first started carrying the body till you got her behind the ball diamond was approximately 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10.
Or so?
Yeah,
Is that right?
yes,
So you get her behind the ball diamond
yes,
and you put the body down.
yeah.
Tell me what happened.
Liz starts undressing her.
And you guys are standing where?
Behind Liz.
And you were standing back to the north?
Yes.
And she starts undressing her. What does she take off?
Her pants and her belt came off with her pants and her purse.
Does she go through the purse?
Yes, she did.
Did she ever take anything out of that purse?
Not to my knowledge.
And you believe she was going through the purse for what reason?
Looking for the Coke.
Did she ever find it?
Not that I know of.
Because indeed, she had told you earlier before you were helping her, you were going to get what?
An 8-ball.
Did she ever tell Yates that?
Yes.
Did you hear her tell Yates that?
Yes.
At some point in time, it's determined the body's going to go in the creek. Who puts the body in the creek?
Me, Liz, and John.
You talking about Elizabeth Balser and John Yates?
Yes.
And you guys still grab the same parts of the body that you did before?
Yes.
And you walk down the bank like you showed us?
Yes.
And you place the body in the water in the area that you showed us?
Yeah.
And I ask you this at the park. Did anyone ever do anything to the body when it was in the water?
Not that I know of, no.
Not another shot fired?
I didn't hear no shots fired.
Well, you're going to know whether the fire is shot or not because you're going to see it.
Okay.
Was there another shot fired?
No.
Okay.
Because after we put the body down, I started walking out.
And did Balser and Yates also walk out?
Yes. Well, behind me, inaudible.
So it's Yates, you, and Balser as you exit the water and go back to the bank.
Yes.
We also discussed about the black flip-flops.
Yes. I don't know.
We found those down by the water, one in the water and one on the bank.
Yeah.
And was it your belief that they got there how?
Liz or John took them down there.
Okay.
That's the only way I can think of it.
So you get back to the bank and the clothes are still laying there.
Uh-huh.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Who takes them?
Liz does.
She just picks them up or what?
Yes, she does.
What's the conversation when you get back to the bank?
I don't remember the whole conversation. I don't remember per se what we said, but I remember me and John were pretty mad.
She picks up the clothes?
Yes.
And what happens to all three of you? Which way do you go?
We run back to her car.
Which is parked by where?
Inaudible.
All three of you get in the car?
Yes.
All three of you get in that car?
No. Just me and Liz got in the car. John goes back towards the bridge.
On foot?
Yes.
Did you see how he got to the park?
No.
Inaudible.
He was there when we got there.
So you have no clue as to how he got there?
No, I'm guessing he drove.
You guys get back in Liz's car?
Yes.
You and her?
Yes.
She has the clothes. Where does she put the clothes?
She puts them on her lap.
You guys go where?
We go to my bike.
Which is parked over by the high school tennis courts.
Yes.
Was she driving fast or normal to the car?
Pretty fast. Yeah.
Pretty fast. Any conversation once you get in the car from the time you get to the parking lot of the high school?
I tell her I need to get the gun back.
Okay.
And she wipes off the gun with Tabby's clothes.
And then hands it to you?
Yes. And she had me get rid of Tabby's clothes. She told me to burn them in my fireplace.
Did you do that?
No.
When you get back to the high school, you take the clothes. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you're on your bike. So how do you carry them?
Inaudible. I carried them between me and the gas tank.
What direction did you go, or what
I went
path of travel did you go?
out to the road beside the high school, turned left, went to 19, turned right, went to South Street, went by the pool, and turned left, and went to Conde Street, went back to my mom's house.
What did you do at your mom's?
Wiped off the gun, emptied the empty cartridges out of the gun.
What did you do with those?
I took them out to take them and get rid of them.
Okay.
And put new bullets in her gun. Washed it off, put the lock back on it, and put it back where it was.
And where was that?
In her closet.
In her bedroom?
Yes.
She still wasn't home?
No.
So you take the rounds?
Yeah.
The empty rounds and replace those. So you replace how many rounds?
3.
And you take Tabitha's clothes?
Yes.
You get back on your motorcycle?
Yes.
And you go where?
I go home.
Did you place a phone call when you was at your mom's?
The first time I had went there, yes.
First time when your statement earlier, the first time, was when you arrived there after the shooting. You called home?
Yes, I called home.
Is that correct?
I called home around 9.
So this was before the shot?
Yeah.
So your earlier statement that you went to your mom's after the shooting, called Amanda, and then rode your bike home is not true?
Yeah, I called Amanda when I went. It was around 9 when I called Amanda.
But you're missing my point.
I know what you're saying. I don't.
You don't.
I remember calling her at 9.
You don't recall making a call to her after the shooting?
No.
Because that's what you told us before.
No.
So you don't know whether you did that or not?
No, I don't.
Did Amanda know where you were?
No.
Where did she think you were?
At my mom's house.
And you've been there for how long as far as she knew?
A couple hours.
You ride the bike home?
Uh-huh.
Which way did you go?
I went up Pioneer because the road was closed.
And was the bridge closed right at the edge of town?
And the turns, yes.
Why didn't you go out through the cemetery and out that way?
I don't know.
So you went by Pioneer.
Yeah.
You get on 28 and you go home.
Yes.
And what did you do when you get home?
I put the clothes in the garage with inaudible go-kart stuff.
What did you do with your clothes?
My clothes?
Uh-huh, yes.
Well, I wore them when I went inside the house, and Amanda was upstairs with Skylar, and I changed real quick. I went and put them under there.
Over where?
With my go-kart stuff.
So you put Tabitha's belongings and your clothes in the same container?
Yes.
And what was that container?
It was a Rubbermaid with a red lid and a gray bottom on it.
Did it have numbers on it?
Yeah.
What were they?
I don't remember. I think 31, but it might have been 69 or
Okay.
one of my go-kart numbers.
What did you do with the empty cartridges?
I held them and took them and threw them out on Division somewhere.
When was that? That same night or when?
The next day.
And then did you return to your house? Did you go back in the house after you put where did you put that storage container?
It was in the shed out behind the restaurant.
Behind where we were at?
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago, and you returned to your house?
Yes.
How come you never burned the clothes if that was the original plan?
I never got a chance to because Amanda's always home. And then when Amanda was not at home, when she's at work or something, I just spaced it.
Did you ever tell anybody about the shooting?
No, I didn't.
Did you ever talk to your mom about it?
No, I didn't.
Have you ever seen Balser since the shooting?
Once.
Where at?
Parking lot.
What was your conversation?
She asked me if I got rid of the clothes, and I told her yes. And she asked me if I was keeping my mouth shut.
Any conversation about the gun?
No. I told her, well, I took it back and just put it back where I got it at.
Have you seen Yates since then other than to see him in jail?
No,
You never talked to Yates?
not since the...
From the time of the shooting till the time you were arrested?
No.
You never talked to Yates?
No, because I heard what he told Robbie or somebody.
And what did he tell them?
About her, he said he hurt a girl really bad and threw her in a ditch somewhere or something like that. In a creek. Whatever he told Robbie and Tom or Mandy.
Okay.
They came over to my house telling me that, and I figured I didn't need to be around him.
Let's talk about Thursday, okay? Which would have been August the 3rd.
Inaudible?
Excuse me, October the 3rd, 2002.
Okay.
Deputy Jeff Pike and Kempton Marshall come to your house. What, approximately 1:30?
No, I don't remember what time.
Okay.
They came to my house.
And they inquired about what?
Tabby.
If you had seen her or what?
To see if she was over there.
What did you tell them?
I told them I saw her up at VP the day before.
And you told in your earlier statement that you had lied to Pike about. What was it, either seeing Tabby or your connection to Balser? Do you recall that conversation that we had?
No.
You had made a statement that Detective Stout asked you about your conversation with Pike, and you admitted you had lied to Pike. And I apologize, I don't have those notes in front of me.
Yeah, I didn't tell them I killed her.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
Nobody ever said you said that.
You said I lied to him.
Right. You admitted in your first statement that you made some statements to Pike that were not true. Okay? It was nothing to do with you being the shooter. We've never said you were the shooter.
Okay.
You didn't kill her, did you?
No.
Then we wouldn't have said that.
Okay.
I was trying to clarify.
Well, involved in, I should say.
So you deny any involvement
Yeah.
in her disappearance,
Right.
which was obviously not true.
Right.
And that's what I'm getting at. You made some statements to Deputy Jeff Pike that were not.
I said I saw her that day.
True, okay?
Up at VP. I did see her up at VP.
Okay.
Didn't lie to him about that.
Let's talk about Michael Raines.
Yeah.
We didn't ask you about Michael Raines earlier. Any involvement on Michael Raines' part in the death of Tabitha Raines?
No.
So he had no knowledge prior to the shooting that was going to take place?
No.
What about knowledge afterwards?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Have you talked to him since the death?
Once.
And where was that at?
My house.
Okay.
He came over the same day Jeff Pike came.
All right. And you haven't seen him since?
No.
Did you see?
I saw him at the funeral home.
Funeral home. You didn't talk to him, though?
No, I didn't. I talked to Buffy and Travis.
We're going to go off tape for just a minute. Go ahead. This is Mike Tarr, who is another state police. Earlier, you talked about or Liz told you were going to receive payment of an 8-ball.
Yes.
When exactly did she tell you that?
Up at Court Street.
That was before you met, or you all met in the park at 10 p.m.?
Yes.
And exactly what did she tell you she was going to pay you to help her do?
To watch her back.
Inaudible.
In case anybody else was there, and you get the gun for her. And
what did Liz Balser tell you she wanted to do to Tabby?
Whoop her. Beat her butt.
Do you know the circumstances if Tabby actually stole some cocaine from Balser? And
I don't know if she did for sure or not. I was told she did. Probably she did.
Do you know if Balser and Tabby ever partied together?
Yes, I know they have. I've partied with them too.
But you don't know for sure if that's an actual fact, if she did rip her off?
I don't know for a fact, no.
And where exactly did you obtain this handgun from your mother? What's her address?
402 South Conde.
And what is your mother's name?
Debbie Neff.
And is that the same address that you took that handgun back to after the shooting?
Yes.
Where were the extra rounds kept that you replaced?
In a bag with the gun. In a nylon bag.
And is that handgun kept in the bedroom, in her bedroom closet?
Yes.
Do you think that handgun is still in that location?
No.
Do you know where that handgun is at now?
Probably at her house in Noblesville.
So your mother has moved from South Conde?
Yes.
And she lives in Noblesville now?
Yes.
What is that address?
I don't know. It's her boyfriend's house.
What is his name?
Dr. F. Wesley Pike.
Do you have a phone number for that residence?
Yes.
How long has she lived there, or do you recall when she moved there?
She stayed the night there all my life, and it's been part hers pretty much, I guess what you would say.
Does someone else live in the South Conde residence now?
I don't know if Nancy's living there now or not.
Who would Nancy be?
Ripburger. She's buying the house off of Mom.
As far as you know, is all of your mother's possessions out of that residence?
All but a toy chest.
Does your mother have any idea that this gun was used?
No, she doesn't.
Does she have any idea that this gun ever was taken out of the residence by you?
No, she doesn't.
Have you ever taken it out of the residence for any other reason or any other occasion?
I've never taken it out, but I played with it before growing up.
I think that's it. Let's talk about Drew Bush.
Okay.
Do you know if Drew Bush had any knowledge that this was going to take place prior to that happening?
No, I don't think so.
So what your belief is that Drew Bush was there just by chance?
Yes.
When it happened?
Yes.
And when she made the statement to you to watch her back, you would get an 8-ball?
Uh-huh. Yes.
She didn't mention any names or anything?
No.
Just in case anybody was there?
Right.
So as far as you know...
Tabby, inaudible.
We had talked earlier in the first statement 2 weeks ago about her means of travel to get there. Do you know how she got there?
I'm guessing walk.
Okay.
I don't.
But you don't know that for a fact?
I don't know for a fact, no.
So as far as you know, there's only 4 people that know what happened out there or that witnessed what took place.
Yes.
You, Drew Bush, Elizabeth Balser, and Jonathan Yates.
Yes.
No one else?
Inaudible.
As far as you know, no one else present in the park?
Correct.
We're going off the record for now. It's 4:43 p.m. We're back on tape. The time now is approximately 5:01 p.m., August 27, 2003. Still present in the room is Kyle Neff, Stephanie Duran, Mike Tarr, and myself, Detective Tony Frawley. Inaudible. Turn that back on before I had him swear. Kyle, in the last 15 minutes, we discussed a few more things. Is there anything else that we've talked about prior to turning the tape off the first time that you want to clarify, or that anything different? In other words, is there anything you want to add to this statement before we conclude the statement?
No. I talked about the 3 shots fired.
Right. And the fact that you don't know for sure if there was a shot fired, is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, that 3rd shot. I don't know where that was fired at.
But how many empty rounds were there?
3. That's how I know there's 3 shots fired.
And you did what with those?
I threw them out.
And where at?
Division Road.
On what day?
I don't remember. The Thursday?
After the next day?
Yeah, the next day.
And we talked to you, and you would be willing to take a drive with us to see if you could locate where you actually threw those out, right?
Yeah.
Willing to do that today?
Yeah.
You said your mom has no knowledge as to what took place with her gun.
No, she doesn't.
And you believe that gun is in her residence in Noblesville?
Yes.
Kyle, before we talked about what perjury is, you know what perjury means.
Yes, I do.
Kyle, you swear and affirm under the penalties of perjury that the statement you have given us is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God?
Yes, I do.
This concludes the statement. The time is now 5:03 p.m.
Okay, that is the end of the statement. What I want to know is, what did they talk about during that 15 minutes the tape was off?
Right.
What was actually said? Why wasn't that recorded?
Mm-hmm.
Everything else was.
Okay, you want to go to the polygraph exam?
Yes. 1 second, though. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to the comments here real quick.
Okay.
The purse didn't get put in there. There was certain items that is crucial to someone's life in that purse that is close to Tabitha. Imagine this. It showed up. Not by anything Kyle did. Welcome, Jason. So glad you're here. Love Tina says, interesting, Mark. He got immunity from what? I don't recall him getting immunity. He got immunity because he can't be charged with this again. No kidding. This is bull crap. Planned thing. You mean premeditated? The verb.
He got immunity because he testified against Elizabeth.
Right. The verbiage used seems unusual for law enforcement. Yeah.
Well, that's how these cops are in Tipton. They try to be your friend.
None of them had enough experience to investigate or handle this type of murder. Or they're hiding something by using these BS stories. Let's see. Love Tina says, he had to know something bad was going to happen. Liz had his mom's gun. I'm sure he had to give it to her because I don't think his mom would hand it over. Exactly. And she says accessory.
Mm-hmm.
He's admitting to a terrorist act by setting up a young 16-year-old best friend. There's no evidence she was killed in the park. That isn't even in question. This is all the story they come forward with. Gloria, timeline is all over the place. Plan to scare her. Exactly. This could be right. He's using memory from studying Andrew's statement and deposition and everybody else's. Because we know he read them before he did this. But the big thing is Andrew's statement does not say she used her fist. Andrew's statement said she was pistol whipped.
Well, now wait a minute. In the first Drew statement, he says he didn't see the gun. She could have used the gun, but all he saw was her fist. And then in his second statement is when he said it was the gun.
Did he say that in the first statement?
Yes, he did.
Okay. I'm glad you remember that. That's pretty much what they're doing, telling different stuff to throw off. Yeah. Is it possible the guys had a gun and did it? Or is it just Liz who had the gun? Well, Kyle is the one that gave her the gun. He says he gave her the gun. Immunity from what? Andrew got immunity from Shane Jackson's death murder. Yeah. Okay. Gotta make this bigger. This was done on 8/29/2003. Reference: Tabitha Raines homicide. The following will constitute a confidential report of the interviews and polygraph examination conducted on 8/28/2003. The polygraph examination was administered to Kyle M. Neff. Polygraph waiver. His attorney stated to me that it was not necessary to advise Mr. Neff of his rights in regard to this examination. Pre-examination interview. During the pre-tested interview, there were no admissions or statements made of an incriminating nature. Examination. During the actual polygraph examination, 3 charts were conducted in which the following relevant questions were asked in examination structure with other information and/or control type questions. Did you lie about any information concerning your involvement in the shooting? Response: no. Are you still withholding any information in your statement about the shooting? Response: no. So let me read those again.
There's another one.
Oh. Here. Have you falsified any part of your statement to protect anyone? No. So the 3 questions were: did you lie about any information concerning your involvement in the shooting? Are you still withholding any information in your statement about the shooting? Have you falsified any part of your statement to protect anyone? All 3 answers were no. Examiner's analysis. Based on the information furnished to this examiner on this interview and upon evaluation of the polygraph charts administered during this examination, it is the opinion of this examiner that Kyle M. Neff is not being truthful to the above listed questions. This examiner was unable to conduct a post-test interview at the time of this examination at the request of Mr. Neff's attorney. Detective Rick L. Morgan, polygraph examiner. So his whole plea deal was based on the fact that he had to tell the truth. And he gave 2 statements and a deposition and still failed his polygraph. And notice that it says he is not being truthful to the above listed questions. Does that mean he failed on all 3 questions?
But if you look at the numbers of the questions.
Right. Question 5, question 7, and question 10. So, what that is telling me, that statement is very, very true. It is the opinion of this examiner that Kyle M. Neff is not being truthful to the above listed questions. So the 3 questions that I read out, did you lie about any information concerning your involvement in the shooting? His response was no. The examiner is stating he lied. Question 7, are you still withholding any information in your statement about the shooting? His response, no. The examiner is stating he lied. Have you falsified any part of your statement to protect anyone? Response, no. The examiner is stating he lied.
Yeah, so basically those are the only 3 questions he lied on.
Right. That's 3 of the big ones right there.
Yep. Yeah, because the other questions were probably, is your name Kyle M. Neff?
Right.
Do you live at blah, 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 State Road 28?
Basic questions to get him to do a truthful response.
Right. So he had something to base it off of.
So basically, that lie detector test said that he was lying about key points in this investigation. That plea deal should have been taken away from him immediately. Because you heard the deposition, that didn't give you any other information except, I don't remember, I don't know.
Well, and it said that the plea agreement was based on a truthful truthful statement.
Right. So that plea deal should have been thrown out immediately.
But here's the thing. We all know polygraphs don't hold up in court.
Right.
That's the only reason why it probably was not taken off the table.
Right.
Because they had him dead to right lying.
So
they just couldn't do anything about it.
Right. So one of the things that happened last weekend while I was in Indiana, Bossy walked the route. She walked it slowly and kind of stopped and looked around to account for the 2 times that they would have stopped. To get over from the wooden bridge to back behind the baseball diamonds, it took her 11 minutes. And that's walking slowly and stopping and looking around to account for the 2 times that they stopped and had a cigarette and put her down.
But she also wasn't carrying 100+ pounds.
Right. So give or take a few minutes. Because he said it took them about 10 minutes.
Right. But we also know with the recreation that we did.
Yeah. So, in our next video, you are going to see video of the park and how it is today. You are going to see pictures. I took pictures where they supposedly parked that night in the park. It was still light out, and I can tell you that you could not tell who was in the pavilion, even with it being light out. So how they're going to tell that Tabby was in there at night, you got me.
In pitch black?
In pitch black, yeah. There's no way. And then we are going to show you the video of the reconstruction that we did. It's important that we got through Andrew's depositions and statements and Kyle's statements and depositions before I showed you this video. So if you missed anything, go back and watch. I am going to wait and give everybody 1 week to catch up on videos, because I know that there's some that are new that have been watching. And so next Tuesday, we are going to show those videos.
It's also important if you go back and rewatch the episodes. I think it was episode 9 or 10 that we talked about when Kyle was explaining how they carried her.
Yes.
I think it was in 9 or 10. You need to watch that episode and listen to how he says they carried her.
Yes. Because that is going to be very important when we do the recreation.
And also go back to like episode maybe 1 or 2 of how Andrew says.
2 or 3, because we started off with Josh Sigler in his book. So it'd be 2 or 3.
Okay. Episode 2 or 3 is how Andrew says
she fell.
She fell, and how he saw them pick her up.
Yep.
Because they're 2 totally different
Oh,
descriptions.
yeah. Yep. So, and in the meantime, I'm going to have a meeting with our team and do some brainstorming. We're going to continue on depositions and statements. We got 3 binders full. So you're going to hear it all. So stick with us.
Is something we're discussing who's going next?
I believe after the videos, I'm going to do Amanda.
Okay. I just wondered if we were still sticking to that.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to do Amanda next. All right, Tina. Ask away. Ask away. And I'm hoping, Love Tina, that you are part of the Justice for Tabitha Facebook group. I'm going to put the link for that here in the chat for anybody. You can join. You're more than welcome to put questions in there. We will answer them. All right. Thank you for joining us. We will see you again next Tuesday. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.